they'll come up with the iPhone 14 and say, this is the best iPhone we ever made last year that we're remaking this year, but we're making it slightly better. Buy it for more money than last year. Oh, it comes in a bigger size too. This is our fastest iPhone we've ever made, and you're gonna love it.
That's a really good impression, honestly.
Actually, that sounded pretty good.
Yeah, that sounded too good.
Good morning. This is the greatest iPhone we've ever made. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Tech Unlocked podcast, the podcast where we unlock the latest tech news, leaks, and rumors so you don't have to. I'm one of your hosts, Benji from BenObi Tech, and I'm joined, as always, by my fellow co-host and partner in crime, Taylor from Mr. Smartwatch. And today we have yet another special guest. We have Alex from Tech Pequeño. I think I pronounced it right. Who's finally joining us on the show. I think we tried to schedule having you on a couple of times before, but schedules didn't really work out. But we've got you on now. It's great to have you, and it's going to be great to have this conversation with you today. It'll be awesome.
Well, thanks for having me here.
All right. Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, and other people, we are going to be covering a number of different things. So we've got quite a bit of news compared to last week, which is fun. So we've got Apple problems with Apple employees leaving, as always,
and going to an enemy,
and going to other companies.
Going
to the enemy who believes the future is something else, which we'll talk about later. We've got more information on the Apple Watch Pro, which will not be called Apple Watch Pro. Refer to the last episode. No, not the last episode, the one before of the Tech Unlocked podcast, and you will find out why I'm so confident in this. And then we've got some more Apple Car news, because there always seems to be something about Apple Car at least once a month. We've got iPhone 14 Pro CPU leaks. Skipping further down the list, we've got some Samsung stuff. We've got some Samsung foldable juicy details. And we're also going to be talking a little bit about Google optimizing some stuff for tablets and what that could mean. And then we may or may not have some questions for Alex, depending on time. We're going to ask him on different opinions that he has in the tech space. So to get the ball rolling here, our first news story of the day is Apple chip expert leaves company to join, drumroll please, Samsung.
Oh.
The company that we literally reported on a couple weeks that Samsung was going to divert from their creating their own chips for their smartphones kind of company to like being like, you know what, let's throw everything in the garbage, everything we've built these last decade or whatever, and we're gonna go and use Snapdragons exclusively. But apparently they may be taking a break from the whole creating their own CPUs, because their CPUs suck. So now that an Apple chip expert is joining them, maybe they'll actually stand a chance. I don't think so, but maybe. What are your guys' thoughts?
First of all, Benji, bite your tongue, because I don't think it's ever gonna happen. I mean, they'll probably get slightly better, but no.
It's like saying Intel's gonna catch up in the next 2 years.
Exactly.
It's not happening.
Yeah, no. I think, you know what, everything in its place, and no. I can't even believe that somebody from Apple would go to Samsung. But I mean, I kind of get it. You know, things are kind of do I even dare say better? You know, so I don't know.
Probably, but let's be real though here. He probably got offered more money.
True, exactly.
Or he had a bad experience with Mr. Cook.
Right. Yeah, with Mr. Cook.
Or Craig accidentally opened the door to his room and he was like he was working on some stuff. He's like, "Oh, sorry." Just leaves.
Oh, jeez.
That's going to be interesting. I mean, leaving one company for another, I mean, I don't think it'll affect them. I mean, they're so big.
Nah.
I mean,
no.
One leaves, whatever. If all of them leave now, we got a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
especially if like the main people leave.
Yeah.
But there's someone in the comments who said Apple has almost
Yeah.
160,000 employees. Apple now
I
has almost
I don't know.
159,999 employees. Exactly. Yeah. So one employee won't
Yeah.
change the company. They'll just replace them.
Yep.
Maybe with someone better. Taylor. Okay, your camera's back.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Do you have any thoughts, Alex, before we move on to our next topic?
Good luck, ex Apple employee.
Yeah. I mean, I really hope that they're happy and that they don't regret what they did, because you hear that a lot, of people regretting things and then wanting to go back, and it just won't happen. But yeah,
No, he's gone to work for a guy who short abbreviates his name to DJ, so it must be a great time.
yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
But
Taylor, do you wanna move on to the next topic?
sure. So the titanium Apple Watch Pro could signal the end of Apple Watch Edition.
Won't be called Apple Watch Pro, I'm telling you.
No, it won't. Did you happen to watch Untitled Tech's video that he posted?
No, I haven't watched any videos today.
I mean, I kind of
Or
watched
Saturday.
it. Honestly, like, I don't know. I think that this is odd. Yeah, I can see that they'll do one thing over another, but I don't know. And that pricing, I mean, we've talked about that a little bit on the podcast before. I still think it's too steep, but
Especially
if you want to go ahead and pay $1,000 for a watch, that's your choice, not mine.
I mean, we had people go pay 14 grand for an Apple Watch that literally the only difference was it was gold coated. So I'm sure there will be people who will be buying this, but like,
oh yeah,
already there's not much of a market for the Apple Watch edition, like the current edition, like the titanium versions. Like I've never seen one in my life.
Me either.
And those start at $750.
No, yeah. That sounds good. That's
the only person that I've actually seen own a titanium watch is Nikias. Shout out to you, man, by the way. But I mean, seriously, that's
not even NKBHD invest in those Apple Watches.
He's got
the aluminum version.
Smart man.
So that just goes to
smart man.
So there's a lot of people buy usually the base model Apple Watch. That's what I got. The aluminum, whatever you want to call it. And then yes, there's some people that buy the stainless steel, but not as many as the ones that buy the cheaper one, because they can't justify, because literally the only difference is the materials. But then people who buy the edition, it's called edition.
Yep.
There's even less people now. Yes, this new Apple Watch may incentivize more people to buy it, because not only is it going to have different, stronger materials, but it's also going to be designed slightly differently, which we'll talk about in a second. And it'll be a better watch overall than the base model. Like, it will have enough features for people to justify spending more on a watch because it does more, right? So, yeah, but I still, no matter what we say, Apple Watch Pro will not be the naming. I am set on that. It will not be Apple Watch Pro. Alex, what are your thoughts?
That's interesting. Apple Watch Pro. I mean, iPhone 11 Pro, iPhone 12 Pro, iPhone 13 and so on Pro. Now they're just changing it. I mean, I don't know. I think the naming, I mean, if the materials change like it said here, then yeah, but I'm not. I mean,
yeah, because I mean, I think
the way that what's so pro about it? Like, just the material? Come on.
I mean, as of right now, yeah.
As of right now, yeah. Unless it's gonna get an upgrade, like a silicon upgrade and whatever.
The next story here is from Mark Gurman, which kind of relates to this one. I think the one we were just going through, kind of went through what Gurman's article said. So basically, it's going to have Gurman says that the Apple Watch Pro will offer the first true redesign since the Series 4, but no flat sides. And he also went on to comment that it won't be round either. So we don't exactly know what the design of this watch will actually be like. But apparently it's going to be big. At least that's what Gurman's telling us. Again, Gurman's the same person who agreed with John Prosser on the Apple Watch being flat. The Apple Watch Series 7 being flat. But apparently this is going to be an extra rugged. It's going to have a larger display. I think some people were saying like 50, not 50 inches, 50 millimeters. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Not 50 inches. That would be way bigger than a MacBook. That's like a TV. So it won't have the curved, the flat edges. It will be an evolution of the current rectangular shape. It'll have a more durable formulation of titanium to make it extra rugged. It will feature a longer battery life, which could last multiple days on a single charge via a new power mode, according to Gurman. The only new health feature expected for the Apple Watch Series 8 is still a body temperature sensor with blood pressure monitoring, not expected to arrive until 2025, and blood glucose monitoring, not set to be ready until nearer to the end of the decade. Well, that's a long time. Gurman added that the upcoming Apple Watch release is shaping up to be one of the company's more exciting product launches this year. I mean, exciting to look at.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
My wallet's not touching that.
Here's one thing that I think that the Apple Watch needs is, I mean, I get that there's like bands and whatnot, but I would like to see a dedicated, little thing to open for AirPods. A little storage unit for the AirPods. That way you don't have to take the case, and so on and so forth. I think that would be cool.
Maybe like an attachment, like something like
not
that.
Not an attachment, but you know how? So there's like third-party watch faces like that. You just open within the watch. You just open up the
watch bands.
Yeah, the the watch itself, not the watch bands.
Oh, right. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I understand. Yeah.
So you just open up the top part, the watch face, and you can store the AirPods right inside there. I think that would be cool. I mean, at the same time, I don't know if there's gonna be enough space. It would be really, really chunky if they did that.
It wouldn't be an Apple thing.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah. But also, Apple giving you free stuff.
No,
I just think something different. I mean, because what else is there for the Apple Watch as far as like design? Excuse me. As far as design goes, there's not really much that they can do.
Yeah,
in my opinion, anyway.
I think now that I think of it, I can't remember who we had on, but we had a similar conversation to this a while ago, and they were saying that it would be good. It would be cool if Apple, like, yes, the Apple Watch we have now, there's not much we can actually do with the Apple Watch itself. But what if we expanded to the watch bands? Like, there's so many different things that we could do with the watch bands. Like, we can add a battery into the watch bands. We can add a camera to the watch band. Things I think it might have been Nikias, actually. I can't remember. But yeah, so there's different things that the Apple can do in that regard, trying to make their watch bands a little bit more usable. Because as of right now, they're literally just a piece of material that goes around your wrist and does literally nothing. So like they could even add the glucose monitoring that they've been trying to add to the Apple Watch for donkey's years. Now they can add into the Apple Watch band, and it can have like a little needle thing that pricks you every couple hours or whatever you need to measure your glucose. So
yeah.
I mean, those are things that they could do, but I mean, I completely agree. Like in terms of what the Apple Watch can do now, there's not really too much that it can go. I guess you can add health sensors, but there's like only so many health sensors that would make sense to have on an Apple Watch.
Exactly.
Like you wouldn't add an X-ray machine to the Apple Watch, now would you?
I mean, if you want to do
be interesting,
but
yeah, just like X-ray. Just what are you doing there? I'm just taking an X-ray, just in public.
Yeah, no, I
The new normal.
Like you said, there's only so much you can do with a watch. How many things you can just pack into it, unless you make it bigger, move some things around. That's really it. Or like again, like you said, use the watch band.
Yeah,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I said it in the collab that we did with Taylor, Mr. Smartwatch, and guys, you should go check out the channel and go watch that collab because it was sick. But I said how the Apple Watch in the future can become kind of like the device that houses all of the processing power for the AR glasses.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
initially the AR glasses are gonna, if you want to add things like the M1 or the M2 or whatever they're gonna add, probably M3 by that point. It's like it's gonna be it's still a small chip, but it's still big enough where it's gonna be a bit clunky on your face or whatever. But eventually they can move like your Apple Watch, just like the iPhone, or no, the Apple Watch used to rely heavily on the iPhone. I think the AR glasses can rely heavily on the Apple Watch, and the Apple Watch will have all
Oh
of that
yeah.
processing power because already the processor in the Apple Watch is pretty good. Of course, it's
Right.
not as good as a computer, but they could throw in like an M2 in this, make it slightly
Hmm.
bigger probably,
Yeah.
but they could fit it in there, and then instead of having a watch that actually physically shows you the time, you have kind of like it's kind of a conduit or whatever, or power. I don't know. It like sends the signal to the glasses, and you see everything. Kind of Bluetooth connection. And hopefully, we're gonna start seeing more of like Apple's solution to Bluetooth with AirPods
Yeah.
Pro 2. Um, but yeah,
Y-
but I think yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think that's a big thing that they need to do is increase the Bluetooth and whatnot, because I mean it's good enough already, but I think that's one thing that they should expand, because people would love to use their AirPods with their watch.
That's gonna be
You know.
interesting. Yeah.
A bit more.
Yeah. A bit more. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's already possible. But I mean, I think improving Bluetooth. I don't think the speed or the connection is a problem. I think like for
Mm-mm.
things like lossless audio, for example, like we were talking a little bit about AirPods Pro pre-show, about the AirPods Pro 2 having being only being compatible with the iPhone 11 and newer, and
Right.
that could mean that Apple is diverting from Bluetooth and creating their own standard for wireless connectivity, which could then open so many different doors because Apple now has complete control over that technology. They can add that into the iPhone and remove the port completely because now you can do wireless transfer
Yep.
flawlessly or almost flawlessly. Of course, it'll probably be buggy knowing Apple recently, and then they'll start adding the same Bluetooth technology to all of their devices, including the Apple Watch and the AR headset, which means the latency is going to be so slow, and the quality is going to be really high, like when you play audio or video, that it's literally going to
Hmm.
feel like a wired connection, if not better, hopefully. So but
Dude,
Yeah.
still, backtracking a little bit back
yep.
to the Apple Watch Series 8, um now that we're seeing all of these rumors of all these new features coming to the Apple Watch Pro or rugged edition, whatever they're going to call it, um I'm kind of wondering what the regular Apple Watch Series 8 is gonna have. Like, is it even gonna have any new features?
It's just gonna be
Yeah.
updated
No.
silicon, and that's it. Is it not gonna? It.
Maybe not
I
Yeah.
even
mean, I've heard
silicon. I don't think it's updating silicon.
no, or
No, it's gonna be the same
why
processor as
couldn't
the
be the
Series
same
6.
processor? So they're gonna wait until Series 10 or Series 9. Maybe it'll be a cycle. I don't know.
Probably.
Series 9, they're
Probably.
like, we have a new revolutionary
There you
processor.
go, the
It's
Series
like
9.
5% faster than the last one. I mean, as
Was
of
it?
right now,
All.
the silicon in the
all
Apple Watch is good enough. I think it could be probably a bit more efficient with battery,
yeah.
but other than that, it's fast. And on my Series 7, it's fast enough. It's good
All
enough.
I'm gonna say is, I really hope that it lives up to the hype, and it's not something like we had last year where we were thinking, oh, we're gonna get the flat sides, and then all of a sudden, it was like a very, very minimal change. I really
Yeah,
hope that there's something big this year, because that's gonna be such a disappointment if it's not.
yeah.
I
Maybe
listen.
the
I even said this last year. If something doesn't happen this year, I'm done watching the Apple event. I mean, probably not, but still, like I'm like so done
At least
hoping
the
for-
ones where they announced the Apple Watch, because we know
Yeah, exactly.
everybody got it
Exactly.
wrong the past 2 years, so no more.
Jeez.
Or just
All in-
stay away from the leaks completely, because if you go expecting nothing and you get
True.
nothing,
See,
you're
and
not going to
that,
be
and
disappointed.
yeah,
Wait,
and
what?
I mean,
what- I'm trying to think
I
of
watch
that quote from Spider-Man now.
I watch Front Page Tech and everything, and I mean, from my channel, like, I would love to talk about the leaks and rumors, but at the same time, like, I'm gonna feel bad that if I'm saying one thing and then another thing happens, I'm gonna feel bad that I was completely wrong, and people bash on me. You know what I mean? Like that's just the kind of person I am.
As
But
long as it's
yeah,
a rumor and that you're not like, I'm confirming this
Yeah.
is what's going to happen, and I'm the official news. Don't listen to anybody else. Like, you
don't
know.
listen to
I found the
don't
I
listen to
found the
John
quote.
Prosser.
If you expect disappointment, then you can never really be disappointed.
There we go.
There we
True.
go.
True.
Fact.
True.
Facts from a
Dude, send that to
fictional
me. I'm posting
character.
it. Dude, post that to me. I'm gonna post it on Facebook.
Send it over.
That's so true. That's really true.
Do you want to move
Honestly.
on to the? Do you want to move on to our next topic?
Sure. So, Apple has applied for 248 core related patents since 2000. Damn. Or wait, did I say core? I meant car. Whoopsie.
Core.
Core. I don't know where I got that from, but I guess I'm blind. But yeah.
That's a lot of patents for cars.
Damn. And just a thing, not one of them has become reality yet. Like, come on, when are we gonna get these things?
I
I
mean,
mean, it's a patent. It doesn't mean that it's going to come in anytime soon. But I mean,
True.
at least they
Yeah,
have the
true.
ideas.
But it's like,
That
man,
doesn't
just make
stop
something
anybody.
reality already.
Yeah, that doesn't stop anybody
Yeah.
else from going around those patents and start,
Oh no, yeah,
as well.
yeah,
You can
definitely
always,
not.
there's always a way around stuff, but that's interesting. If that is, if it's true, since 2000, 248 car-related patents, like they haven't even an Apple
they
car.
haven't even come
when?
close.
Like,
No,
you
I
got
think we were.
Tesla.
I remember.
What's going on?
I remember back. Yeah, I remember back in the day. They're like, "Oh yeah, in 2018, it will come out. Apple Car, it's gonna be a thing." No. Push it back to 2020, and they're like 2021, 2022, and now apparently it's looking around 2025. So I mean, like filing a patent isn't free, so
No.
they're either throwing money down the drain because they're like, oh, who cares? We've got
Yeah.
stacks of money here. What do we do? Oh, let's just create a random car design and then just patent them for fun. I don't think that's what Apple's doing. I think they're genuinely trying to work on this car, and because they're like being pretty ambitious with this project, they want it to focus on autonomous driving. Like they literally don't even want to put a steering wheel or brake pedal or anything in this car. So it is something that that's not going to take like a year or two to create. This is like more
Right.
than a decade long project, and they've been working on it for, well, since 2000. It says that they've applied for patents. So I think probably back when Steve Jobs was alive, they were probably already starting to work on a fully autonomous car. But recently they've been working a little bit more on it. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. Hopefully someday we'll actually see something physical come from this.
All right.
God,
Apple
I really
car,
hope so.
Apple toilet, Apple refrigerator.
Apple everything.
That's
Jesus.
that's the dream. Just the Apple Home. That's the next
we got
product.
Samsung.
The
Samsung
Apple
making
Home.
their refrigerators, their air conditioners. You got all those IoT devices. It's if Apple starts making all those, I mean, there it is. Apple's going to be unstoppable. I mean, they're not going to be cheap.
There's a lot of money to be made. Yeah,
A lot of.
I
dishwasher
would
for 10 grand.
There we go.
I would personally, and I made videos on this on my other channel. on TA Tech. I would love to see Apple doing more with security systems and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
I know that there's like, with the home kit, you can get third party stuff, but like
Mhm.
just to have their own equipment and their own thing would be awesome to
They
see.
they had
Just because,
something like that, like the Apple Extreme.
Yeah,
Why'd you take that out? Like serious, I've always
yeah,
wanted
those
one
were good.
since I was younger. It's like I had this router. I was like, oh no, I want Apple. I
yeah,
mean, come
yeah,
on, they
dude.
discontinued
Yeah,
that. That was a disappointment.
we had one, or we still have one, but it's like you can barely use it. Um,
Yeah,
but it was great because it had like a built-in hard drive as well, so you could literally just like leave your computer there and it would back up automatically and things like that. The connect like setting it up and managing the connection and everything was super easy as well. Um, and I think if they did do like a home security system, I think that would be amazing just because of how easy like Apple products are to set up and use. I think it would be really good if they kind of ventured into that that kind of market a little bit. I think it would be really cool. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
but yeah, moving on to our next topic. Unless you guys have anything else you wanted to say before we move on.
No,
nope.
Nope. All
also,
right. iPhone 14 now, which is the product that we literally can't stop talking about because we are so excited. Hooray. Uh, honestly, I'm sick and
that's
tired of
why
this iPhone 14 stuff.
I got the 13 Pro, just because I'm so excited for the 14. No,
I mean,
I
honestly,
mean,
for the 14 Pro, I'm kind of hyped because
yeah, yeah, no, me
newish
too.
design, 8K video recording. I'm looking forward to those two things. But
Sick.
anyway, we've got more news. So yes, so a lot of people are complaining because the iPhone 14, the standard iPhone 14 and 14 Max aren't going to be that great of an upgrade. They don't have new silicon in them and stuff like that. But no, they're not going to have new silicon. But they're going to have all of the phones that Apple's releasing this year will have 6 GB of RAM. So for those who actually care, who think the amount of RAM in their phone isn't enough, now you have more. So the iPhone 13 series all has 4 GB of RAM, but now they're gonna have 6 GB RAM. So yes, you're gonna have an inferior processor, but it's still gonna be slightly faster than the 13 lineup simply because it's got those 2 extra gigabytes of RAM. So it'll be able to be better at multitasking and playing games and doing hardcore intensive stuff that takes
Dude,
a lot of RAM.
I can't wait to the announcement. I,
That kind of like um reminds me of a video that John Prosser made about Android having all this RAM and stuff like that, and Apple having this much less RAM and having the optimizations for it, and then you just get like I think he was talking. Don't quote me on this. Like Apple's like not caring so much about the software or whatever. I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
probably, but I mean, more RAM is better, most definitely. I mean, programs they need them. It has grown so much, um, especially
Yeah,
on PC, Mac, downloading and stuff like that, and just having that extra bandwidth, just having that extra RAM to run more programs and more features at the same time. Maybe multitasking will be a thing. I mean, we already have picture in picture for YouTube. Finally, it's been so
finally,
long.
yeah, dude.
You know.
I
I
have to
text.
get YouTube Premium for that because I'm not in the US.
Oh,
It's quite sad,
sorry.
but who cares?
Whoops.
I don't watch
Well,
YouTube. I
No,
don't watch YouTube anyway. TikTok is better. No, I'm joking.
no,
well,
I literally, one day I was watching YouTube and Alex texted me, and I'm like, "Come on!" And I swiped out just to see what he was saying, and then I just see the thing pop up. I'm like, "Wait, what? This is a thing now? What?" So I quickly texted him back. I'm like, "Update your YouTube now, because you would love this." Because it's been something that everybody's been talking about for so long, and it's finally here.
I
I
didn't even
mean,
know I thought it was already out. Like I thought it's been out
no,
for years, but no.
oh no, no.
Everybody's
They
freaking out
they
about it.
they did it for the premium users first, and then
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I don't even know why. Like, I thought it was kind of weird.
It's because they couldn't find enough reasons for you to buy premium. So like, here's another reason: because people use
True,
ad block, so
true.
they don't get. So they don't. So people who use ad block don't care about ads.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how else are they going to incentivize you to buy? Oh, let's make picture-in-picture exclusive to premium users. It's kind of
Because now
stupid, but
it is limited. Now you can't listen to
Mm.
music, obviously, and picture in picture
And
mode,
that's
and
another thing. Like,
when it's locked.
that's so weird.
You know,
That's so weird
those are
that they
the
did that like that.
are those the only not the only two features for was it YouTube Premium, but I mean it's just two
yeah.
features
I mean,
Yeah.
left.
there always are workarounds. I don't know if they still work, but I remember back in the day, you used to be able to go onto YouTube.com on Safari, and you
Yeah.
used to be able to use picture-in-picture that way. Like I did it on the Mac a couple of times. But you could also do like if you went into Safari and you played some music from YouTube, you could leave the app, it would stop playing, but then you go to the music player and you press play and it would still play the YouTube video, which was the music. So I don't know if you could still do it now, but there were people that were using workarounds just because they're like, I want to listen to music without having to pay for
Mhm.
YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't care. I've got Apple Music, so
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. And like,
But again,
go ahead.
yeah. No, you go ahead. Sorry, I was gonna
No,
wrap back
just
up.
like I was just gonna say, like, even people with like Spotify now, like, and um honestly, I feel like Spotify and Apple Music, I've tried Apple Music. I don't notice much difference. I mean, maybe it was at the time I didn't have the AirPods, so maybe that was the case for me. But I think that both are really good at their own thing. Um, so yeah.
But yeah, sorry. Anyway, going back to the RAM and everything, I think yeah, more RAM is definitely good. In for a lot of things. Like I remember, but even though like Apple is pretty good at optimizing their software and their hardware together to work together and everything, it still is always a great idea to have more RAM than too little. Like, I remember when I was buying my MacBook Pro, I didn't want to get like 16 gigabytes of RAM because I was like, it's not going to be enough. I already have 16 gigabytes of RAM, but I ended up getting a 16 gigabyte version. But honestly, it's been really good. Like the software optimization has been pretty decent. Like, yes, there are still crashes, and sometimes I do have too many applications open. Like I'm editing a 4K file in Final Cut Pro with like multiple streams of 4K, and then I've got Google Chrome open with 20 tabs and stuff like that. Crazy stuff. But still, like most of the time, it handles it pretty well. And if it wasn't for macOS sometimes being a bit dodgy, in terms of having like bugs and stuff, it
Yeah.
like 16 gigabytes of RAM would be plenty. But I mean, for iPhone, I think six gigabytes. I mean, 4 gigabytes already. Like I rarely have issues. But
Oh
when I
yeah.
do, it will be nice to have that better RAM. And also, this is
Mm.
LPDDR5 memory, which will be, and this will be in the higher end 14 models, which means they'll be more uh, energy efficient and power efficient, and they're going to be better than the RAM in the two lower tier models. Um,
Mhm.
so there's still going to be a slight difference in processor speed, but it's not going to be as drastic as people expect it.
Right.
Interesting. And then I see a comment here saying no USB-C charging port. No thanks. It's like, well, I mean,
Who
you're still
cares?
in it. You know, it's
Who
like,
cares?
who
Like,
cares?
Well,
I
Dark Duke, I'm gonna click disagree on your comment.
Doctor.
Okay, never mind. I have to log in and I don't have an account, so never mind.
no, honestly, don't even get me started with the whole charging port thing. I mean, honestly, yeah, it would be cool to have something um, that you can have just one cable for everything. But at the same
Mhm.
time, like, you know what? If they're gonna go completely portless in like a year or two, what's the point? Just keep
I
things as is, and then go to portless or whatever you want to do.
I mean, I very rarely use the charging port on my iPhone. I'm always
Oh yeah,
charging on
me too.
MagSafe.
Yeah, me too. Me
Literally.
too.
Like the only reason I use it is for fast charging, and that's like maybe
Mhm.
not even once a week.
Or even like if I want to get some juice in the morning, I'll just plug in my phone for a couple minutes, and then, or even if I'm in the car, with my parents, I'll plug in my phone for CarPlay. That's pretty much it. That's it. Like, um, I really think it's useless, especially nowadays. I mean, the majority of people are doing wireless, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think there still are a lot of people that are using wires, but I think if they remove the cable completely, they'd just be forcing everyone to go to portless, which is fine.
Yes,
I'm fine
yes,
with it. There's less chargers you need to buy.
Mhm.
exactly. Yeah,
Because
exactly.
wait, is that right? Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. I
Well,
guess
you got
people will need to
wireless.
buy new ports, but they're going to be more convenient because, like, for example, with MagSafe, you're not restricted to like one side of the phone. Like, if you're playing a game or
Right,
something, you don't
right.
have this cable in the way. You just have the cable stuck on the back, and you can like move it in
Mhm.
whatever position you want, and you're good to go. And like if you're in the car, you can get car mounts that have built-in MagSafe. I've got one. I absolutely love it. Every time I get into my
Mhm.
car, I just put it on there. Don't have to fiddle with like putting it in and stuff and doing all these weird hand gymnastics. It's so much easier and it's great. MagSafe is, I think, the way to go. And the sooner we get portless, this I'm happy. Like
Oh yeah,
I don't care.
Unless like
I don't care
Apple,
about
which
ports.
I don't know if they have plans, but to make a truly wireless charging, like almost like it's like Wi-Fi waves, like the
Yeah,
radio
I
waves to
think
charge.
they. I remember some years ago they bought a company that was testing that technology. Like they had, it was kind of like an infrared sensor thing that you stick to your ceiling,
Hmm.
and it sent like rays around your room, and they would they would have receivers attached to like a phone or a device, and then the receiver will receive those radio waves or whatever they're called, and then that would then charge the device. So they already kind of, I'm sure they're working on something like that, or like they could even implement it in the HomePod Mini, for example. Like the HomePod Mini transmits a wireless signal to the surface where it's on and things like that, and it can charge the device, or it can charge it from like a distance. I think that will definitely be amazing as whenever that happens. Or they could always invest in solar power a little bit more and build a solar panel
yeah,
in the screen.
yeah. Because
But
I was gonna.
I don't know how that would work just because right now solar, it doesn't charge as quickly,
Right,
and also depends on how much sun you've got.
and
So if you live in the UK and you have solar panels, you're pretty much screwed. But anyway, it rains all the
no,
time.
yeah. And I was gonna say, to what you were saying. Honestly, wait, I lost my track. Never mind. I lost my train of thought.
Okay,
So
well,
cut cut that out.
while while Taylor regathers his thoughts, we're gonna move on to our next topic. So iPhone 14 Pro. This is still talking about performance. So the iPhone 14 Pro performance estimates 15% over 15% of CPU, over 25 to 30% GPU, and up to 50%, or no, over 50% memory bandwidth of performance with they're gonna be the A16. So that's pretty decent. I mean, it's not an amazing improvement, but it's still pretty decent. It's still pretty good.
Mm,
And of course, this is a prediction, so we're still not 100% sure if it's going to be this fast. But because of the improvements with the RAM, um, and also of course there's going to be some improvements with the processor, I think it's going to be, well, it's going to be faster.
yeah,
It's Tim Cook is going to say this is the best iPhone we've ever made.
Again,
Good job. If it wasn't, then why would people buy it?
exactly right.
No, they'll come up with the iPhone 14 and say this is the
This is the
the best
future.
iPhone. This is the best iPhone we ever made last year that we're remaking this year, but we're making it slightly better. Here you go. Buy it for the same. No, buy it for more money than last year. Oh, it comes in a bigger size too.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Literally.
fastest smartphone in the
Literally,
world we've ever made.
This
That's
is
all
our
that would happen, and then all of a sudden,
fastest iPhone we've ever made, and you're gonna love it.
That's a really good impression, honestly.
Actually, that sounded pretty good. Yeah.
yeah, it sounded too good.
Good morning. This is the greatest iPhone we've ever made.
Are you related to Tim
Starting,
Cook and not
starting,
telling us?
starting at a low price of $1,500. God, I broke out of character there, but oh well.
Are you related to Tim Cook and not telling us?
I don't think so. If I was, I'd be living in Cupertino,
True.
and I'd have all the latest Apple products. I'd be like Rockford Tech.
Bruh,
getting all the new iPhones.
hey, we need to
Yeah.
reach out to him and get him on the podcast. Now that I've been
That's a
thinking
good
about
point. We should. If you're watching this, message us. Anyway, so yeah, iPhone 14 faster. Hey, nobody saw that one coming. Everybody acts surprised. Big surprise. Wow. iPhone 14
Whoa,
is
it's gonna be the next iPhone. It's gotta be a little bit faster, right?
it. Yeah.
It's gonna be the greatest iPhone Apple's ever made. Amazing.
Yay.
Nobody knew
God,
that.
no.
Okay. Moving
God,
on.
no.
So Taylor, do you want to talk about the next topic? Other iPhone 14 stuff.
Oh God. Yeah. So what number? Okay.
We are on number 7.
7. Gotcha. I was gonna say 7 too. Apple reportedly
72?
scaling. No, 7.
Sorry,
Like
7.
funny.
Okay. 72.
So-
There's not 72 news stories in this.
Jesus. So Apple reportedly scaling up iPhone 14 orders while Android brands struggle. Saw that coming, but you know.
I love how
Um,
much commitment Apple is showing with this as well. Like I saw another
yeah.
article. It's about
Oh,
to put
yeah.
that in. And it's like they've got multiple companies that they're working with to make sure that they've got enough iPhone 14s being produced where they're going to be able to deliver.
Dude.
So
Apple's just standing in the background doing this. It's like, yeah. Good luck, Android. Good luck, Samsung over there. I don't care if we got one of ours. So who
because
cares?
the funniest part of all of this though is Apple is the company that makes phones, like the richest tech company in the world, biggest
Yep.
tech company in the world, and they can literally just go to
Yep.
manufacturers and be like, "How much is Samsung paying you? Oh, they're paying us X amount of money. Oh,
Yeah,
we'll just
yeah.
double that." Maybe not double that, but
Dude,
we're gonna
dude.
give you 25% more if you produce iPhones instead of Galaxy phones. And then of course, what do companies do? They are there to make a profit. They've got employees to pay. They want
Yeah.
to pay themselves, of course. They're like, yeah, okay, buy Samsung, just kicks them out of the factory and just starts making iPhones. That's how it works. So
I'm telling you.
it's
I'm telling you.
it's all right.
Yeah, it's listen, I think that this is great. But I do feel bad for Android companies. They should be worried. And yeah. I
Also,
mean
the biggest problem with Android manufacturers though is that most of them use one processor.
yeah.
They use the same.
Yeah.
Huawei, actually maybe not Huawei, but there's a lot of different companies. I won't even name them. They all use Snapdragon chips, which means they all have to order from the same place, which means this one place has to make so many processors for so many different manufacturers. But Apple, what do? They only have one, and they could just
Yeah.
pick TSMC or Qualcomm or some company that knows how to make silicon, and all they have to do is here's the order, here's the specifications, go make it.
That's
And
Right.
they have full control over it. That's the whole advantage they have, I think, and that's why they're staying ahead of this whole chip shortage thing,
Yeah.
or at least
Yeah.
they're trying to, because they have control over a huge part that their competitors don't have access to.
That is the unfortunate circumstance everyone's in, and then Apple's obviously on top of that. I guess they made sure it's like, yeah, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. We're gonna make our own stuff, bro.
Exactly. And so when somebody goes to a phone carrier and they're like, I want to buy the latest Samsung. Oh, sorry, we're out of stock because of chip shortage. Okay, what else do you have? We have iPhones. They're like,
There you
okay,
go.
I'll buy an iPhone. There you go. Apple's made money.
Yeah. Yeah.
All because they decided to pay a little bit more than Samsung just to get all the iPhones manufactured that they needed to manufacture at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so moving on, we have completed the iPhone 14 section of this episode of the Tech Unlocked podcast. We're now moving to iPad, which is a news article that I literally found a couple minutes ago, which just came out. Actually, wait, no, it came out yesterday.
Wow.
Sorry, I completely missed it yesterday. There we go. Not yesterday. I'm confused because it's past midnight here, so it was yesterday for me. But Apple is finally planning to slash iPad Pro weight in 2024. So if people complain about the iPad Pro's weight, which I certainly don't complain anymore, because the 2024 11-inch and 12.9-inch iPad Pro models are going to be lighter. They're going to reduce the weight of the display. Because they're switching to a dry etching process, partly to lose weight. Since the new displays are much thinner, Apple apparently had to develop a special coating to increase their durability. Okay, so yeah. So basically the panels are thinner, and they're apparently going to be OLED as well. Which, for the first time, will deliver unrivaled image quality for the first time ever.
Wow.
Well, we'll see tech reviewers compare this to a Galaxy Tab, and they're like, Galaxy Tab is better. Because Samsung, because Android.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's something. What's his name? MKVHD will do, or something like that, or someone.
No, he's gonna favor Apple. He's very.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He's
No, but what I'm saying is, I'm sure that he'll do a comparison. You know.
Yeah, he'll be like, screens. Yeah, Apple looks better, and then there's gonna be some guy who hates Apple and is like, oh yeah, that Apple screen is disgusting. Don't buy
it. Yeah.
John Prosser decides to go anti-Apple again. It's like, this screen sucks.
Oh god. Oh god. Yeah, can you imagine he gets it and uses it for FPT? Just this is the new beautiful iPad. Wait, no, it isn't. But yeah.
So that's all they're doing to the iPads is just
next year. Well, this year they're adding wireless charging to it.
That's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be interesting.
That's weird. How are you gonna?
Yeah, I'm really hope they're gonna do it with MagSafe. I think so. They're making the Apple logo bigger, just so they can have MagSafe.
Apple, I just want to let you know, this is not the charger. This is not the pad I was talking about in my video.
Huge.
I'm just gonna say that right now.
They're gonna be. Go ahead.
You're doing this on the wrong kind of pad.
It's kind of like huge. It's like in the middle.
I think it makes. Yeah, I mean, I think it will make sense if you're using the iPad and you're charging by MagSafe. I think it makes sense. But if you're putting it down somewhere, you're like, let me line it up. Oh, it's not working.
Exactly.
Jesus.
But I mean, fortunately, it's magnetic, so it should snap pretty easily.
Yeah.
You get cases for that too, and then you got specific stuff.
Jeez.
That's gonna be crazy. For case manufacturers, they're gonna hate Apple. They're like, we need to spend more money to make a case just so we can have magnets in it. Nah, I'm gonna do this other thing. I mean, some companies that make iPhone cases, they literally don't care about MagSafe at all.
Oh heck.
And so of course I don't buy them. All right, we can move on.
So
Taylor, do you wanna move on to our next?
Sure.
Topic?
So next up, Apple removes AirTag battery level indicator from the Find My app. They did? I didn't notice that.
Apparently so. I mean, I probably should have fact checked this before the episode. But if they did, that would be kind of stupid. No, okay. What the heck? They didn't remove it.
Did they? Because I still have
apparently it was a bug. Okay, well, we can scrap this news story. Moving on. So this is still about AirTags. A Tennessee man uses AirTag to find his stolen SUV. So that's pretty cool. So basically, after his Hyundai Santa Fe, why would you call a car Santa? Anyway, was broken into earlier this month. Joshua Weil decided to leave an AirTag in the SUV. According to a police report, a criminal had tried to steal the car and failed. They only broke the passenger window, but also damaged the steering column. In response, Wiley installed a surveillance camera in his apartment window that focused the lens on his vehicle while the camera captured video of the theft. It was ultimately the AirTag that helped track down the stolen Santa Fe.
That's pretty
With the
cool.
help of Memphis police, Willie, I don't know what to pronounce his name, was able to get his stolen vehicle back thanks to the AirTag's tracking capabilities. The Memphis police had nothing to do with it. I hadn't had the AirTag to show me where the vehicle was so early this morning. It's very likely there could have been thousands of dollars more damage to my vehicle. So there you go. Moral of the story, put an AirTag in your car, as I have done. And if somebody steals your car, there you go. Or another piece of advice for that is just buy an older car that's bashed up that nobody will want to like steal, and that's
Yeah.
another option. But the AirTag is probably the more viable option. Just spend $25, throw the AirTag in there. Somebody steals your car, hide it, of course. Don't put it on the front or in front on the steering wheel or something. Hide it somewhere.
Right.
But it's great. AirTags are great.
Yeah. Oh,
yes,
yeah.
you can track people and stalk people, but you can also save your own car. So yeah, AirTags, they are amazing devices. Moving on. Taylor, do you wanna bring us to Samsung land, please?
Sure. Samsung claims foldable phones are going mainstream.
All right.
I beg to differ, but okay.
Why don't I have
Samsung
one?
it's so yeah, exactly. Why don't I have one? Why do I not want one?
Yeah. No.
Samsung, you haven't
Wait,
convinced me.
Alex, you if you could, would you actually buy one?
Oh, I mean, to return it, try it and return it, and that's it. I'm not keeping it.
I was gonna say good answer because I would automatically defriend you. No, I'm kidding.
Go to
No.
Facebook, unfriend, block, Instagram, block. Go to his house, block.
Yeah, go to.
Just block his door so he can't leave. Put on your security system, like if this man comes here, call the police. Harassment. No, anyway.
Jeez. No, but seriously, man. I mean, yeah, I guess that it's gonna be the future, but I mean, it's not
On
it's
my
not gonna be
future.
for everybody. You know, it's not for everybody.
It's also, I don't think it's gonna go mainstream. Like I think
No.
the problem is
no.
Samsung. They're trying. So there's all these companies that are trying to focus on the actual future, which is AR.
Right.
Everybody knows AR is going to be the future. AR, online currency, and stuff like that. Whatever you want to say. If you say something against that, then you're going to be exactly the same as your grandpa who thought Facebook was stupid and it was never going to take off. But Samsung are kind of doing the same thing. They're like, oh no, AR, we're not working on that. Cars, no, we're not working on that either. Foldables, you gotta hear this, folks. Foldables are the future. We don't care what other people are doing. We don't care that AR is cooler and can do more things. You need a phone that folds in half.
No, you don't.
That's
No,
what
you
you need.
don't.
Because right now, you're like sitting down on your phone. And you're like, oh, I wish the screen was bigger.
Mhm,
No,
mhm.
I've already got an iPhone. People with iPhone 13 Pro Maxes are like, yeah, I need a bigger screen.
Yeah.
I need something. I mean, yes, I like the concept of foldables. Like it's a phone and then it's a tablet. It's a phone and then it's a tablet. But then, if instead of investing millions or billions of dollars, how many ever dollars Samsung is spending into like producing these foldables, why don't they allocate that money to making AR more of a thing? But I literally haven't heard anything from Samsung about working on AR. The last time I heard Samsung and AR be related was with AR emoji, which was an absolute like, it was hysterical. It was horrendous.
Dude.
Disgusting. Still to this day.
No.
Anybody who has an AR emoji as their profile picture automatically does not get seen by me. Seriously, it's like it's so foldables are not the future, Samsung.
Yeah,
I don't care what you
no.
think.
No,
And it's
not.
like
Oops.
they haven't even sold that many. I think it says so. It says the Verge notes Samsung's figures could be slightly inflated because Samsung says that they've been selling more. Apparently, display analyst Ross Young believes 7.9 foldables were shipped last year, while IDC believes the actual number to be around 7.1 million. Either way, when you compare it to the 272 million smartphones that Samsung alone shipped in 2021, Rose's figure doesn't quite sound so impressive. So yeah, so there you go. They're 7.9 million units compared to the 272 million units in total of other smartphones that Samsung shipped. So it's like it's not
So when Apple makes
foldable
when Apple makes one, it's going to be even more mainstream, isn't it?
true. Yeah, if Apple joins the bandwagon or the team or whatever, then yes, it may become mainstream. But still, I'm not sure how much focus Apple is putting into it just because they're working on so many different projects at once.
Yeah.
They're working on the Apple Car. They're working on AR glasses. They're working on home integration stuff. They're working on so many other different things. I don't think foldables is really on the top of their bucket list at this point.
No.
Apple's
Definitely.
like, you go play in
Totally
that little area, Samsung. We'll play in the bigger area here.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody cares about your folding tablets that easily scratch and have no function.
Dude, yeah, exactly.
Speaking of foldables, though, Samsung is making more foldables this year. So the Galaxy Z Fold 4 and Z Flip 4, and guess what, guys? You will never guess what's going to happen to this next generation of Galaxy.
What?
And nobody's going to freak out.
No.
They're going to be slightly more expensive.
Oh my god.
Wow. That's unheard of. Like,
no.
Apple is literally the only company that raises prices. Nobody else does this. Samsung is going out of their way to raise prices on their already expensive foldables.
Bruh, I'm sorry. That's just crazy.
And I think they're even no, this is worse. They're even lowering the base model storage configuration.
Oh, that sounds good.
So instead of half a terabyte, you're getting 256 gigabytes for like $100 more.
Wow. That's
all right. Well, foldables are going mainstream, right? Here we go.
Oh yeah,
so
that's gonna be a great move, especially if you want to go mainstream.
Oh yeah, exactly. So the Galaxy Z Fold 4, I think, what is this? So they're translating to $1,900 starting price.
Oh my god.
And then for the Z Flip, it'll be 1,100 compared to 1,000.
Dude, no.
And also there's not even that many like big changes. Like the Z Flip, the Z Fold is going to be slightly wider, but not by a large margin. That's going to make people want to switch to it from their beautiful iPhone 13 Pro Max. And also the Z Flip, I have no idea what they're changing with that, apart from new colors and Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. And better battery life. Oh yeah, also the hinges are going to be less, the crease is going to be less noticeable. But I think these aren't going mainstream anytime soon. Samsung, you can dream, but AR is where it's at. And yes, of course, we've had people on the show say before, like AR isn't ready yet. AR probably will take a couple of years to take off. AR this, AR that, AR. Okay, yes, of course, it's not going to be perfect when it first releases. But while we're trying to work on this new technology, we're like trying to hold on to the old technology and trying to improve that and like they do weird stuff with it, morph it with other devices. We can't focus on this other thing that is better and that will actually make a difference in people's lives. Like if I had a phone where I had to decide every time I take it out if I want to use it open or close, that is not simplifying my life. That is overcomplicating it. I'm like pulling it out. I'm like texting. I need something else.
So how many versions already Samsung has got is thrown out there for the Z Fold and Z Flip? Like,
I
is
think the
this
Z Flip. I think this is they're going on their third because I don't think there was an
third?
original. I don't think there was a Z Flip 2.
Is it
Correct
Flip
me if I'm
2?
wrong, Taylor, because I was away for those 2 years when they introduced all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
so the Z Flip. So yeah, Z Flip they've only had 2. The Z Fold there's been 3.
Yep.
So they had the original Fold, which had basically it was just a nightmare. People peeling off the
Dude.
screen protector, and the screen would just stop working. That
Dude,
was beautiful.
that was
And then I think that was one of the that was one of the peak times in tech where this
Oh
new piece
yeah.
of technology comes out.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's raving about it. Everyone's like, "This is going to be the future. This is amazing." Reviewers start to
Dude.
peel the screen protector off, and
Even
it just
even the
destroys.
even
The
the
device just
first
goes.
year that they even the first year that they introduced the foldables and whatnot, it was just like I already knew there was going to be a lot of complaints, a lot of crap, and I listen. I'm glad that they did better on the second and third, but like
How much better?
yeah, exactly,
Yeah, exactly.
You can
I mean,
exactly.
the Z Flip 3 it's a decent smartphone, but
No,
it's
it is.
like
Yeah.
the outer screen is barely usable. It's like, what's the point in even having that? The inner screen scratches very, very easily. So like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and also you're compromising on things like battery life, you're compromising on things like durability. Like that hinge is not going to be nice every time you
No.
open it. You go to the beach,
No.
that thing's destroyed.
Oh yeah.
It falls in
Yeah.
water, it's not even water resistant, that thing's destroyed. So Samsung, you want this to become mainstream, you have to fix a lot of stuff before it becomes mainstream. It'll probably be 10 years until it'll be mainstream. Like
Oh,
smartphones only started taking
for
off.
sure.
Like I remember smartphones only started taking off when the iPhone 4 was out, and that was like 4
Right.
generations
Yeah.
in. So like it's and we're almost 4 generations into foldables, and nobody cares, literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No.
like
You
foldables
know
are not
what?
the future, guys.
Is that going to be like the
And
3D
and
TV kind of
and
thing?
and I'm
Like,
gonna say this
oh,
for anybody
died out.
that's
I agree.
already typing, and I'm gonna say this for anybody that's typing, "Oh, you guys are Apple sheep," or "You guys are just Apple fans." No, it's the God's honest
Listen,
truth.
if Apple made a foldable, there's only a few conditions that I need for the. There's only a few conditions that I would set in place before I buy one. First of all, the outer screen has to be just as usable as the inside screen. I,
Yes.
I. Second thing, I don't
Yes.
want it to compromise on battery life or durability. Third thing, I want the software experience to be A plus. I don't want it to be B minus or C as it kind of is on the current one. And also, I need like it can't compromise on as much as it is compromising on right now, and it has to
Mhm.
be worth it. Like I need to have like
Agreed.
an iPhone 13 sized phone that could
Yes.
fold into basically an iPad almost, that has a usable aspect ratio that's not a flipping square like the one that like the Samsung one right now. There's a lot of things that Apple has to do or any company has to do before I start jumping onto the foldables bandwagon. But still, I think companies shouldn't be focusing on foldables. They should I think the phones that we have right now are okay. Just keep updating them slightly, keep giving us features,
Right.
keep making them better, keep making weird designs. Nothing. We know nobody cares about you because you literally make nothing. But still, it's great to see companies that are changing the way we do the regular things.
Yeah.
Focus on doing that.
Yeah.
Samsung, go and do a little bit more of that. Don't do foldables because foldables are kind of a very niche thing. Not many people even
Right.
need foldables. And people should just be focusing on AR, building the next future, not building the past or trying to build a stepping stone towards the future. Because
I mean,
I think AR is the future. I don't think we need to be lingering on older
Yeah,
technologies and trying to make those better. It's
y-
like going and
I,
taking. It's like you want to go and take I don't know, email, and you want to improve it. Like
yeah.
email has reached its peak. People are using other things now. They're not using email as much.
Mhm.
Don't go back and create a new mail app and it's like we've revolutionized the email. No, you can't. You don't do that. There's a
No.
new technology. It's better. Go
what
start
is
working on
going
the new
on?
technology. Don't go and work on the older one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's
Exactly.
like I have the S20 5G and seems fine. I mean, then they have the S21, S22. You know, I mean, just stick with that. They already killed the Note line. Now it's the Ultra line.
Ultra. Yeah.
Ultra.
Mhm.
So
Which
I
is basically
mean,
the note. It's basically the note line
let's just do
with a
that.
fancier name.
Exactly. Exactly. Speaking about Android and Google and all that,
Bigger
um,
sizes.
yeah, exactly. So last up that we have for today is Google Drive, Docs, and other workspace apps getting optimized for Android tablets. What are your thoughts, guys?
I've never used that. Never used Google Drive or Docs or even Workspace on an Android tablet. I don't even have an Apple tablet yet, like an iPad or anything like that. I don't know. Um, but how many
I,
tablets are out there? Is it just the
Not
iPad?
many. There's like iPad, Samsung's doing them,
Samsung.
Google wants to. It's like it's a bit interesting because back in the day when the iPad first came out, a lot of Android manufacturers were like, "Ooh, tablets! Let's make tablets." But
yeah,
then they kind of started to die when they saw that
Yeah,
the iPad was so good that they couldn't beat it, so they just gave up. They're like,
yeah,
"Okay, whatever." But now they're slowly coming back. Like Google is coming out with a tablet next year. Samsung has been doing pretty good with their current tablet.
yeah.
I'm really impressed
yeah,
with
they
some of the
have.
features that the new ones have. And there's companies that are starting to do more tablets. But the fact that Google Drive and Google Docs and other
Dude,
workspace apps haven't been optimized
dude,
Mhm.
for tablets until now, Google, where on earth have you been? Just
bro.
been living under a rock. It's like, what are tablets? They just wake up one day. What are tablets? Oh, we're making one. We should probably go optimize the apps for them then.
That's
So they
probably the only reason why. It was like, we're gonna be making one. Let's optimize it.
Yeah, but I mean, I use Google Drive pretty much every day for work.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it's I mean, if I had an Android tablet, this would drive me insane if it wasn't optimized.
Yeah,
Even though most of the time I'm using it on my computer anyway. But um, finally, they're they're giving some love to the tablets, which is good, and hopefully this will pave the way for um actually making tablets that can compete with Apple. Because as of right now,
yeah,
Samsung is the only one that's trying to
Mhm.
take down the wall, but they're not being able to. They're not able to
I remember the older
because of Android.
Android tablets, like the Asus Transformer. These oldest, like that was like these weird name tablets from Asus, and then I don't remember the other ones. I forgot, but I mean that's one of the ones that stand out to me. It's like so long. It was so long ago, and they all failed because obviously they're not existent now. And then iPad, and then Samsung's been on there, and they've been very good.
mhm,
And then now you're getting Google coming in. It's like that's going to be even better. Um, so
Yeah, they tried. I think Google tried this the tablet thing with the Pixel Slate, but that didn't go
it's
down
like,
well because it was a
mm,
Chrome OS tablet as well.
oh, oh,
So
yeah, no.
that's not good. But anyway, talking about Google before we wrap up the episode, I realized Pixel 6a recently came out. I've seen some of the reviews. Some people complaining about the 60 hertz display. What are your guys' thoughts? Do you think 60 hertz should be is like okay on a smartphone in 2022?
If it's like Apple kind of 60 hertz on the iPhone anyway, it seems smooth to me. The animations and the optimization for it is great. I don't feel like it's like my Samsung, which is always. I mean, I have it where I have animations to zero, or whatever. But if
yeah,
you know, just because I wanted to go faster and stuff like that. But I mean, if you have those animations, it makes it more fluid and stuff like that. There is some stutter. I mean, there's always going to be stutter with operating systems and stuff like that. But I mean, I kind of like the buttery smooth what Apple has. And when I go to my Samsung, sometimes it's like, I kind of miss that. I kind of,
You use the
yeah,
gestures and it's like
I yeah, it's
you want to
like
go home.
freaking
It's
out.
like has a seizure while you're going home.
Exactly. So
yeah, yeah. It's yeah, it definitely needs work. But
I mean,
Yeah, because
I
for
think
me,
60. Go ahead.
for me,
yeah, go ahead.
for me, I agree with Alex. I think it's pretty good. Now that I have the 13 Pro, and I'll go back to like my dad's 12 Pro or something. Completely different, and it's just like, oh my god. But yeah,
Like
I mean, go
go
ahead.
ahead. Oh, so I have the S20, which only at 1080p it'll go 120 hertz, and then at 1440p 60 hertz. I mean, I just use a 1440p 60 hertz only because it doesn't switch. I mean, I have to keep switching it, and it's like I want the higher quality. I mean, the S20, is it the S22 or
Yeah,
S21 has it where it's variable and it switches.
I think so. Yeah.
But I mean, it's to me 60 hertz is not a big deal. Now, if
no,
you use it you use 120 hertz every day, and you're like big on that, you're gaming, and and you're
and
watching
all that.
these, it kind of makes a difference. But I mean, to me, unless I have it every day, I might just go with was it
Yeah,
120? If you have it every
Yeah.
day, you can consider it, but it's not a major
I mean,
difference.
I remember before I had my MacBook Pro or my iPad, all my devices were 60 hertz. But then as I didn't really complain about it. Like 60 hertz, it was normal to me. It was okay.
it was,
But
yeah,
but now I have an iPad Pro which has 120 hertz, and then I have a MacBook Pro that has 120 hertz, and literally the only devices I own that are 60 hertz are like my iPhone, my Apple Watch. And I've got a couple other iPhones that I use occasionally as cameras or whatever. Um, but to be honest, like even though I'm a very techie person, like I'm a very tech savvy person, like I notice the difference. Like I use a 70 hertz monitor, and I've got a 120 hertz MacBook Pro. Yes, I notice the difference, but is it so noticeable where I want to throw up when I see a 60 hertz display? No. Like most
no,
people aren't even going to notice the difference. Like if I want to notice the difference, I can notice the difference. But if I am just working and I get carried away with that, that's the last thing I'm thinking. Like I'm editing a
Mhm.
video, I'm like, oh no, it's not 60 hertz, 120 hertz. This is terrible. This is disgusting. I don't want to see this anymore. No, I don't do that because I it's not something that you care about while you're using it, if that makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense. And most
It's
yeah,
people
like
aren't going to care. So
it's like subconscious. Like you don't even, you're just working,
exactly.
you're doing your thing.
And like not many people complained about the iPhone 13 and 13 mini having a 60 hertz display. So why are we complaining about the Pixel 6a, which costs like half of what, or almost half of what those cost? Why are we complaining about that having a 60 hertz display? It's a great phone. Like, yes, it doesn't have the thing like it doesn't have wireless charging, which really sucks. I think it should have wireless charging, especially at the price point that it's at. You've got iPhone SE, which has wireless charging. You've got Samsung Galaxy, whatever A series is at that price. So you've got a lot of other competitors, but I think the Pixel is great just because it's like an all Google phone. It's the closest thing you're gonna get to an Apple experience, I think, simply
oh
because
yeah,
it's got Google Tensor, as Android, which is built and optimized by Google. It's got all these different things. And I think it's a great phone. It's a great budget phone for people. And if you really, really, really can't live without more than 60 hertz, then you can always spend a little bit more and get a Pixel 6, which is on offer in some places for only like 50 to $100 more. So it's not that big of a deal. So if you really need something a little bit better, get the Pixel 6, which is I think a fantastic phone. I haven't tried one. I've seen it in stores before, but it seems like a really good device. And from what people have been saying, it's good. Hopefully they age well, because a couple of people have been saying that these phones haven't been aging well. But I guess we'll see. I really like the direction that Google is taking though with their lineup, and how they're even branching out into tablets and smartwatches, which is exciting. So yeah, I guess that about wraps everything I wanted to talk about or share. Does anybody else, any of you two, have anything else you want to share? Any questions you have? Maybe Alex, assuming as you're our guest, do you have any questions for us?
Um, I'm not sure. Not really. I mean,
no,
this is my first time on. I mean, I know once I get more into doing either podcasts or more videos and stuff like that, I haven't done for a while.
Slacker. No, I'm kidding.
I'll be
No,
more
Alex. So, just the backstory. Alex is one of my best friends since high school. So, over what, almost 10 years more. God damn! Every time I think about that, I have another friend that I feel the same way about, and I'm just like, how has it been this long already? But anyway, so when I started talking, getting into tech and everything, I would talk to Alex a lot about it. He became a big tech person. I would tell him, "Oh, you should watch this person, this person, this person." I think the first person that I ever told Alex about was John Prosser on Front Page Tech because
yeah, it
that
was.
show was I thought that show was just awesome. So from then forward, I'm like, I think it'd be cool if you shared your thoughts. I know you have a busy schedule and whatnot, but I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't really matter if you have all the equipment like I have, good
No,
microphone,
yeah.
good camera, whatever. Just do it, and so he made his own video, uh, which Benji, I'll send you the link to so you can look in the show notes. I think it was really cool. Um, and I've been on a lot of the live streams, just chill live streams that we've done and stuff like that. So, Alex, listen, man, I'm not forcing you, but
No, no.
I definitely think that you have the potential. So, I mean, bruh,
I
use
mean,
it.
I've worked on my network. I've worked on Mr. Taylor's network. Improving
Yeah,
the
he completely
Wi-Fi.
destroyed. He completely destroyed my. No, I'm kidding. Uh, uh,
Like doing
but no,
stuff
he
like
he
that.
knows a lot, and like anytime I have internet connection issues or
Really,
questions, I'll call Alex. I'm like, buddy, you need to help me out here. Actually, I just had one this week that I had to call Alex and talk to him about. So yeah, if you Alex, actually, that's one thing that would be good for you. I think. I'm not sure how many people are out there that talk about it, but I definitely think you should make videos on more internet uh, kind of stuff. I think
That's
that
a
would
that's
be
a good
cool.
that's
yeah,
a good niche to be in. I mean, I haven't looked much into it, but I think if you're doing tech content nowadays, you need to be
Dude,
specific. Like
yeah,
I think what Taylor's doing is great.
and
How he's transitioned from doing kind of like everything, especially in terms of Apple, to just doing smartwatches now, mainly smartwatch content. I think it's really good just because he's niching down. I'm still kind of trying to figure mine out, but I've kind of mine's a little bit more broad, I guess, but still, I think
yeah,
it's good to
yeah,
find a niche within the niche that you can cater to because then
yeah.
that's
As
if you have
long
a good enough audience, then
Yeah. As long as you want to do it and you have the passion of talking about something,
no,
man,
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I think it's really good.
I've
And
done so
it's
much.
a really good pastime.
Yeah,
And someday you can get money out of it. You know,
it's,
I I
I,
personally
get free networking gear.
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
No, and
I
I
mean,
personally like I would love to have a stay-at-home job. So this would be perfect for me if I could get things down pat and get my subscriber count up. It would be awesome. I mean, I would love to work for YouTube and do that.
yeah. I mean, I've
Work
done
for you too.
so much to my
Well, you know what I
network.
mean.
I've
Yeah.
almost like disabled my network. I've just doing this, learning, watching videos, and trying to secure my Wi-Fi. Trying to not use the 2.4, but use the 5 gigahertz for the networks. Like toning it down because I live in a busy area where there's a lot of Wi-Fi's.
Yeah,
So trying to tone mine down so it doesn't interfere with other people and destroy mine at the same time. Change the channels, the bands, so many things. Um, it's just crazy that Wi-Fi is still an issue these days with the security, and even though WPA3 is more secure and Wi-Fi 6 is another thing, it's still going to be an ongoing issue. And it's so easy just to have someone go out there and just hack it and just go and take your files, and it's crazy. And it's like wired is the way to go, but if you can't, and there's Wi-Fi, but there's so many vulnerabilities on that too. It's like I'm also worried about that. So it's like I'm always trying to make my own little thing here, trying to improve it. So I mean, maybe that is something that I'll go into. Maybe I'll learn more about it, network security and stuff like that. I can even get a job into that.
I mean, I keep telling you, man. Like, I honestly,
I never thought I would.
Like, yeah. I mean, hey, listen, I never thought I would either. And you know what? All the years, ever since I was a kid, I was always obsessed with phones, like all the new cell phones and stuff like that. And I mean, look at me now. I never thought that I would become a YouTuber and make videos and talk about technology and all this other stuff. So, it now that I think about it, though, it makes sense. So, yeah. But anything else you guys want to say, or should we wrap up here?
That'd be it for me.
It's good for me. Thanks again a lot, Alex, for joining us for today's episode. It was great to hear your thoughts and just to have you on and have a great conversation with you. It was great.
Thank you for having me on.
Taylor, as always, thank you for co-hosting.
No,
and thank
no
you
problem,
myself for being an entertaining co-host.
Thank you, Benji, because without
pat myself on the back.
I mean, listen,
as always,
Benji, without you, this show would be absolutely nothing. I mean, it wouldn't be what it is. So, thank you.
even though I have to not sacrifice sleep. I'm up until this time anyway. But like, even though I have to be up at 2 a.m. sometimes recording episodes, but it's still great. As always, everybody who's listening or watching, if you want to follow me, Taylor, Alex, links will be in the description, as well as or show notes, and as well as all of the links of the articles that we used for this episode. And yeah, this was episode 40.
40. Oh my god.
Episode 40 of the Tech Unlocked podcast.
Damn.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. And we'll catch you guys next week.
See you guys. Have a great one.
Yeah.